So, if you like me, you found yourself on your knees praying and asking for a sign. At some point, I'm positive you have. We all have. So sometimes you're going to find yourself waiting and waiting and waiting, trying to listen, trying to squint and see, is that the sign? But I'm going to tell you this, there's a blocker. There's something that is keeping us, the term spiritually blind. And the crazy thing is, it ain't the devil. And God ain't hiding himself from anybody. So we're going to get into that. What is keeping us spiritually blind and how to overcome that? All right. So you already know the vibes. It's your boy Tay. This the Nfluence channel. Y'all stay tapped in. You already know. We just going to get right into it, man. Bible. Straight up. We're going straight to Jeremiah 17. All right. Jeremiah 17 verse 9. So in Jeremiah 17 verse 9, right? There we go. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? But before we continue, yo, Nfluence merch is out. Got the Nfluence hoodie, the beanies, the tees are still in stock, so y'all could go ahead and rack up on all of that. Support the brand, support the wave. You already know it's the Nfluence channel, so got the merch with it too, man. This for you and yours and all of that, and we're gonna get back to this video, man. Now, before I go any further, that means you don't even know your heart. Walking with God, following Christ and trying to be Christ, like you're gonna constantly be put in times and meet and see yourself in situations where your flesh is on 10. You'll be surprised at how low you could go to get the desires of your heart, which is, why it's desperately wicked. So I want to talk about the heart. There's a blocker that's keeping us spiritually blind, not being able to see, and it's not the devil, it's our hearts. The thing I learned about the heart, when we're asking for signs and we're praying and asking God to show us this, or show me this about my friend, show me this about my girl or my spouse or whatever like that, about this job, your heart, most likely in that prayer, you already made a decision as to what you want God to show you. And I'm speaking from experience. Sometimes we got to take a step back and really reflect on our prayers and you'll be able to see how one-sided they are. So I was in a relationship and I was serious about this woman, right? And in the relationship, I would pray and ask God, keep revealing to me, is she the woman? Yada, yada, yada. Do I take this a step further? My foolish behind didn't see any other red flags. Why? Because my heart already determined this is who I want. So in the prayer, it was, show me that she's the one. Keep showing me that, I should take this to the next level. So I'm already telling God, show me the green light. So I'm only looking for green lights and completely disregarding all the red flags. So I already predetermined in my heart what I wanted to see. So now when he's showing me red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, I wasn't seeing none of it. Or I was trying to justify or try to make a defense of it. Maybe he really didn't send me that. Maybe I'm not understanding the sign. Maybe that's not it. And it's the same and vice versa. You may be praying for a sign for God to show you the reasons why you should leave a particular situation. You already told him, show me the sign as to why I should leave. And then when you keep on seeing the reasons to stay in the situation, your heart ain't with it because you want to leave. So I already know how it go. And that's the crazy part about it. Your heart will force you to see what it wants you to see. Once God got me through all of that stuff, I was able to reflect back and say, wow, God, you were showing me from the beginning. I don't know what type of time I was on. Like, for real, yo. So, the thing with our hearts is sometimes we'll find ourselves in a situation where we won't accept the gift that God gives us just because we don't like the wrapping paper. Our heart is the blocker. Our heart is the reason why we may not be seeing the sign. Because like I said, God ain't hiding himself. He loves us. What good father hides himself? Our hearts got us so far gone, we can't see. We can't see. So when we start finding ourselves tied up with the wrong people, we lack clarity. We lack discernment. And we all over, looking discombobulated and confused. We'll go Matthew chapter 23, verse 5 through 7. Yeah, this is when Jesus was going in on the scribes and Pharisees, bruh. So verse 5 through 7, right? So verse 5. But all their works they do, and I'm reading King James Version, so again, pardon the lingo. But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. And as you read the Gospels, you just see this constant battle between the two, because the Pharisees and them, they didn't. Jesus was right there. He's right there, but because their heart was set in the ways of tradition, was set in the Old Testament type stuff, what Jesus was doing to them was blasphemous, and they would not tolerate it. They would not allow it. They won't accept it. They just looking at him like, yo, fam, who is this? Who do you think you are? You not obeying the Sabbath. You talking about you forgiving sins. You talking about before Abraham was, I am. Yo, fam, who is you? Their hearts were already set on, you ain't the Messiah, bro. You not, I don't know who you think you are, but you ain't him. Their heart is much like people today. They don't want it to be true. Why? Because what the scribes and Pharisees gained was status. Like he said, they love to be called Rabbi, Rabbi. They like sitting at the highest seats. It make them feel good, gets them puffed up, get their ego off. Y'all check that other video out that I did, talking about the tactics of the devil and how he uses it. That pride, getting us puffed up, that's a tactic, because you gonna play yourself in the end. And people today, they don't want God to be real. They don't want Jesus to be real and true, because they know they gotta answer to the sins they commit. They know they gotta change their lifestyle, and that's just what it is. I think the first thing, we gotta humble ourselves. We have to humble ourselves, because I know in that season when you waiting for the sign, speaking from experience, it gets annoying. It gets frustrating because you want the answer, but you waiting like, yo, God, where are you at? Just close your eyes and turn out the lights, close your eyes, and you just in pitch black. That's all you see. And when you in it long enough, and when you don't get that answer and you waiting long enough, you start getting upset, you start getting frustrated, to the point where sometimes you may get up, you're gonna get mad at God. So you gotta humble yourself. My mother had to teach me, and I learned the hard way. All right. So you can't rush God. You can't rush God. And like I said, when we get our heart postures fixed and correct, I believe that sign that we was looking for would have probably been in our face the whole time. The second thing that I think will help is try to put yourself in a position where you are in the middle. Your heart is not set on left or right. You are open to whatever God has. And then lastly, you gotta allow time. Like I said, you can't rush God. You just can't. Whatever sign it is, whatever answer God gives, whatever happens, you may not like it. The truth hurts. The Bible also tells us a hope deferred makes the heart sick. So you may have been hoping for something. You may have been hoping for that sign where it is exactly what you wanted. But what if it wasn't what God wanted? It's going to take some time for you to get around to seeing things from God's perspective. But I think a lot of times God does not seek for our hearts to want to obey. He just requires our obedience. He demands it. So even if he tells you go left, you don't have to like going left. You just gotta go left. Like with your parents. You know how many times when we was young and they tell us to do the dishes, take out the trash? I don't wanna do that crap, man. Why always got me doing dishes? And then they say, what you say? And then what you go do? Take out that trash and do them dishes. You ain't gotta like to do it, but you gonna do it. And I hope I'm not making this stuff sound easy, because it ain't. Again, as a recap, what is the blocker? The thing that's blocking us from getting that sign, from connecting with God and seeing what it is he wants us to see, is our hearts. Our hearts are already determined and set. It's set in our ways. And the Bible tells us it's desperately wicked. It's deceitful above all things. Who can know it? Our hearts. We have to get our hearts on point and get it back to with God. How do we overcome it? Humble ourselves, seek understanding, and allow yourself some time. So y'all get in the comments, y'all let me know what's up, man. Put your people on this for you and yours. It's the Nfluence channel. Prayerfully y'all are on path for what it is God has in store for you. And let me know what y'all think. And yeah, like I said, it's your boy Tay, man. Peace and love as always.